Yes, here we are again, the Reentry Connect podcast. I'm your host, Keenan Hudson, here with a special guest on the Reentry Connect podcast, fun at the doctor's appointments, Mr. Dymeire Finch. Huge inspiration in the city of Philadelphia. Needs no introduction. But you already know how we do. We're going to get started on this thing to spread some good resources, some good things that's coming up here in the city of Philadelphia that a lot of you may want to tune into. So I'm just giving y'all a heads up. There's something special here. So if y'all know somebody that needs to tune in and really, take heed to what's going on out here in the world, it's a good thing because I definitely will be on board. But without further ado, I just got to give a shout out to old dad, which is one day at a time. I really got a big respect for Mr. Mel Wells, at 215-226-7860. You already know reentry support, recovery support, anything. Just reach out to him at that number. Another shout out to GPS Transportation. We appreciate everything you do. Anybody need a special type of transport, handicap transport, any type of transport, party bus, anything, feel free to reach out to them at 215-774-9913, and they will give you a special rate when you mention my name. But yes, let's get back to the podcast. Mr. Dymeire Finch, man. Appreciate having you on here, man. How are you feeling today?
Hey, man, I got breath in my lungs. I have a roof over my head. I got up on my own power this morning.
Wow.
I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed.
That's what's up. I'm so good to hear that, man. We got you on here, man. We know a lot of people may be looking at the title, Fun at the Doctor's Appointments. Before we jump into that subtitle, I just want you to introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, what are your accolades, and who and what type of title do you hold here in the city of Philadelphia?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So appreciate you for having me on the show today.
Yep.
For everybody that's tuning in and listening, my name is Dymeire Finch. I am the current executive director for the National Center for Urban Solutions, as well as our health and wellness arm, the African American Male Wellness Agency. And I'm also serving alongside Brother Hudson under our first Black female mayor, Mayor Sherelle Parker's Commission for African American Males, as the health and wellness chair. So, extremely excited to be on the pod today.
Wow. And that's for your blessing, man. We appreciate you giving those shout outs, man, especially towards the Mayor's Commission, man. This is a big thing. Shout out to Abu Edwards as well, man, for being a good director, carrying a lot of weight as well. And to add to some of that, Mr. Dymeire, so what made you want to get into this line of work in general? Like, were you inspired by somebody? Were you a victim to the streets? Like, what type of things inspired you to get into this?
Yeah, all of the above, right? When you're talking about the Black man, it's a lot of different boxes that many of us can fit into, right? And it's not cookie cutter at all. So I got into the work. The work kind of found me. I was transitioning between jobs, kind of down on my luck. Happened to run into the vice president of this organization, and he kind of pulled me in. And once I kind of got my hands into the work, it was no turning back.
Wow. That's powerful. So here it is. You started doing the work. You started working around the city, meeting different connections, networking. I'm a firm believer that, your network is your net worth. You know what I mean? If you're not getting out, meeting people and learning and doing new things, you're not going to get nowhere in life. That's just my opinion. But for the most part, we know that you have some huge things going on that's coming up, especially when it comes to men's health, wellness, not just men's health and wellness, but also for, I believe, women as well. It should be for everybody. You know what I mean? If you could touch a little bit on some of the things that you want the world to know right now.
Yeah, a couple of the things we want the world to know right now would be that it's okay to not be okay, but it's definitely not okay to stay that way, right? So we are offering multiple opportunities to bring the clinic directly to the community in the capacity of providing free health screenings, right? So we are gearing up for our 4th annual Black Men's Wellness Day that'll be hosted at Temple University this June 7th, 2025. That event starts at 7 a.m. and it's going to run until 1 p.m. And we're attempting to conduct at least 1,000 free biometric health screenings for the Black men around the city. When you think about the Black men and some of those health statistics within Philadelphia and in North Philadelphia, to be specific, we have some of the sickest, poorest Black men, in the state. We have the highest rate of serious amputations below the waist in the state. And that's specific to 19121, which is North Philadelphia, which is, the backyard, the heart of what we would say some of the city, right? So for the men, we have our June 7th Black Men's Wellness Day. For the women, we have a Uplift Her Women's Wellness Day that'll be hitting the streets for the first annual this year. That'll be held at Tiffany Fletcher Rec Center, September 20th, 2025.
Wow. It's very powerful, man, how you really dove into that, because not only did you just say why health is important, but you dove into the demographics. You really dove into, where, the most amputations are, things like that, and why health awareness is very important. Like I, can speak for myself. I know I gained weight like over the years. I stopped working. I wanted to do entrepreneurship and start doing me. But me knowing that not being active as you should be, you could pick up weight. You'll put pounds on, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, wow. And then you start realizing like, wow, is this really healthy for you? You know what I'm saying? So it actually inspires me a little bit like, wow, maybe you should, even though I get checkups, they say, okay, you healthy and things like that. But stuff can happen over time. Things get worse, gradually, especially from a health perspective. Some people may ignore hypertension and not knowing that, this hypertension can get bad over the years as you get older. You're not as young as you used to be.
Man, hold on. Look, let's stop right there. Okay. Because I think that's what plagues us, I'm not going to say the most, but that's something that we commonly see where individuals may have previously been an athlete and, they swear they got it all figured out. Or, they're still being participating in some sort of athletics, some sort of working out, but they're not prioritizing knowing their numbers, right? It goes hand in hand. We got to know the numbers so that we can be in front of whatever might come down the line. And that's what we're also trying to provide to the community, the opportunity to be in front of some of these health things before we got to cut a leg off, before you got to have a heart attack, before we got to lose a grandfather, before, we don't want to lose no more grandfathers. We don't want to lose any more Black men at that. So we want to give them more years back on their lives.
Wow. And that's deep. So tell us, we know that this actual event is supposed to take place early in the morning. I know a lot of people like that, 7:00 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I know that's a crazy time, but if you care about your health, tell us why it's important, like despite the time and plus the place where it's going to be, the people that's going to be there, tell them why it's important, why they should be there once again.
Yeah, so I think the time is a thing for our folks, for Black folks. 7 a.m. is something that's scary to Black people. For what reason? I do not know, right? So we're really just trying to also provide an opportunity to break that stigma, right? Doing something early in the day, which gives you the rest of your day back as well. Just prioritize your health in the morning. So thank you for the oop, because Black Men's Wellness Day is what we think of as the most fun that you can possibly have at a doctor's appointment. We'll have special appearances in Freeway, who will be performing. We'll have
shout
something.
Out Freeway.
Yeah, shout out Freeway. Appreciate you for being an ambassador and coming alongside this journey this year. But you can't think about the Black man. You can't think about helping the Black man without also helping his family, right? So we'll have something for the youth. So under our youth pavilion that will be led by our internal team in Nike, we'll have a plethora of different games, face paint, bounce house, things to keep the youth active, burn some of that energy so that they can also have fun as well. But to go with that, we have an elementary school in North Philadelphia that's going to be doing some health-related science projects, right? So we're going to have some education. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some resources. We'll have a father's pavilion that's led by Brother Eric Marsh. If you're listening, shout out to you. Much appreciation for everything you've been doing for the city and have done for the city. So we'll have fatherhood resources and things of that nature for our fathers as well under the fatherhood pavilion. We'll have a seniors pavilion. Under the Seniors Pavilion, led by, I don't want to forget nobody. So led by PCOM, led by PCA, led by IBX Foundation, led by Drexel Health, and shout out to Miss Flo Byarms. Under our Senior Pavilion, we'll have healthy movement, because that's all we're trying to push, especially for the seniors. So what that looks like is some band and resistance work. That looks like some healthy chair movements. That look like fall and risk assessments. And that also looks like line dancing. You can't have seniors without line dancing, having those boots on the ground, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then we'll also have a women's pavilion led by our Uplift Her team, and led by some more resources. So we'll have fun and things to do for everybody in the family, as well as some special appearances and guests.
Okay, so I see here over on Instagram and on LinkedIn, individuals are asking in what way can they apply to be a vendor at this event?
Yes, that's a great question. So everything is going through our Eventbrite. So whether you want to race, whether you want to participate as a walker, a volunteer, whatever that might look like, that's all going through our Eventbrite. And I'll make sure to send you that so that you can have that posted on the page.
Okay. And if you could drop it in the chat, I'll be able to post it up as well while you're doing it. And yeah, that's very important. I know a lot of people want to be vendors or try to figure out how can they get involved, because you have a lot of organizations out here, Mr. Dymeire Finch, especially, and then there's a lot of smaller organizations as well that really want to be a part. They really want to reach out. They really want to help. But sometimes they feel as though they get overlooked at times. You know what I mean? They feel as though, hey, we're not a big organization. We're not like Johnson & Johnson, but shout out to Johnson & Johnson, because they do a lot. They're a big, organization. But, I know that they really want to partake. So you're saying that if these individuals do apply through the Eventbrite, we will be able to, like you said, I don't know if everybody can get a slot at the vendor spot, but however, I know you'll be able to do the process of elimination, to get people in there, correct?
Right. No, so that is fully up to the community, right? So we know we want to have this event as robust as possible. And then I forgot to mention that this is a completely free event. Everything at this event is free for the community. We're just opening the arms and bringing the clinic to the community for everybody to receive what it is that we're trying to bring to them. So for the vendors, we're still looking for 20, 30 vendors of different things. What I will say is we won't be soliciting or doing any sales. But if you have some stuff that you want to get to the constituents, you want to put your face in front of that community, or you want to just be a part of that day, no matter how big or how small you are, please click the link and get a vendor table. And then can't go no longer without saying shout out to Johnson & Johnson, one of our national partners.
Johnson & Johnson, yes, sir. That's really, and I believe that there's going to be a very special guest there from Johnson & Johnson there too, correct?
Yeah, so it's been rumored that their CEO will be making it a physical appearance, but regardless, Johnson & Johnson is great. We do a national campaign with them called My Health Can't Wait, where we're really trying to prioritize health and being in front of those numbers. So trust and believe. Johnson & Johnson will be, I would say, like 100 deep on June 7th, 2025.
Gotcha. Now, I've also see some individuals are saying not just vendors, but people would like to be volunteers.
All through the Eventbrite. And we have open arms for volunteers. And what I would say to anybody looking to volunteer some time, some energy, we are not asking you to lift a finger. You're right. So Temple's hands teams will be moving all tables and chairs, making any modifications. Outside of that, we just need to hype the men up, hype the women up to prioritize their health.
Nice. And that's great. And Mr. Dymeire Finch, I know individuals are probably asking, if it was possible, if they wanted to email you directly, contact you, what would be the email address that you would provide for them?
And I can put that in the comments section as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah. What would it be?
Okay, that would be DFIN.
All right, Mr. Dymeire Finch, he was disconnected a little bit, but we'll wait for you to come back in. But it looked like he was going to say DFINCH at NCUSolutions.com. Is that correct? That's on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Defense. Okay, that's good. It's all good. I was informing them, but you can go ahead and remind them again.
Yes, sir. So that's Dfinch, DFINCH at NCU, the full word solutions with a S.com. So that's Dfinch at NCUsolutions.com.
That's cool. That's cool. So now, Mr. Dymeire Finch, if you can share just a little bit more. Now, are there any other events that's coming up that we should be on the lookout for? Because I know you do a lot of things during the summertime as well. Any way people can partner and things of that nature? What would the type of things be?
Yeah, so we do something large called Cooking with Dads, where we're partnering with State Rep Amen Brown in West Philly, where we're trying to get 100 minority dads together to be in the kitchen with their children, making some affordable meals, right? So we're looking to do that the first weekend in August. If anybody wants to connect and, be a part of that event, open arms this way. The women's wellness event, we're definitely looking for vendors, partners, sponsors, everything that day. We have September 13th, we're doing a men's health breakfast at Jefferson Alumni Hall. That'll be in the morning starting at 11 a.m. That will be also led by Dr. Keith Leapart, who is also an ambassador for Black Men's Wellness Day, June 7th. So we have a couple big events coming up alongside a HBCU fair and stroll off with the Philadelphia Phillies, June 11th, where we're looking to take 250 of our youth, our talented youth throughout the city to be engaged in those HBCUs, enjoy a free game, and also enjoy a free step show.
Nice. We really appreciate that information. And Mr. Finch, if you can share some motivation or some type of inspiration for individuals that's out there on that corner or in a jail cell or somewhere, maybe possibly coming to this event that's coming up, what type of motivation would you give them right now?
The advice I would give them, motivation I would give them, they're never alone. This is a battle that we have multiple people going through at the same time, but there's always somebody that can connect with you that has either been through the same thing or currently going through the same thing. And we would love to make some connections at the Black Men's Wellness Day. But on a monthly basis, we're doing the Real Man, Real Talk, which is the monthly mental wellness open forum conversations, just opening up and creating a safe space for minority men and our Caucasian cousins for them to come together in a safe space, speak freely, trauma dump if they need to, but just start to be vulnerable, right? And start to connect with other individuals. So with us creating that safe space, we'd love to connect more men to that vulnerability and break down some of these stigmas so that men can start to share, self-disclose, so that we can start to, go to therapy, prioritize our health, whether that's mental wellness or whether that's physical well-being, whether that's spiritual well-being, look to assist or connect individuals in that capacity. And much like a lot of men we know, like I said earlier, I fit into a few of those boxes. So if you're looking or listening into this call and you're thinking, well, like, hey, I'm reentry right now. I'm a Black man that got a college degree. I am as well, right? I fit a lot of those different modes. So it's a lot that you can do as long as you put your mind to it.
Wow, powerful. And if you can share the location, is going to be indoor, outdoor, all the logistics for this specific event.
Yes, sir. So like we've repeated a couple times, June 7th, 2025, the morning of, starting at 7 a.m., we'll be meeting at Temple University, 15th and Montgomery. The address is 1816 North 15th Street. That is their Star Aeromark complex. This event is taking place indoor and outdoor. So whether it rains, snows, hurricane, this event will go on. Indoors, we'll have all of the pavilions, all of the screening that will be housed indoor. Outdoor, we'll have more mobile units for screenings. We'll have a basketball game between the youth and Nike, and then we'll do our 5K walk/run through the neighborhood of North Philadelphia. That will all take place outside, but the stage, the screenings, the pavilions will all be inside.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. That's a great thing. Now, one more thing. I know individuals are concerned about parking. How will parking be? Will there be any block offs? Will they be redirecting traffic, detours? How would that work?
Yes, so we are pushing everyone to park in the Leah Course parking lot, which is also on the corner of 15th and Montgomery, across from the Star Airmark complex. And then we will also be blocking off Montgomery on that Friday. So we will be allowing individuals to park on Montgomery and on 15th in front of that Star complex. But we're really pushing everybody to park in the parking lot, in that Leah Course parking lot. And this is a city that you can also get to this event straight off the L or off the Broad Street line, get off at Cecil B. Moore, walk one block up, one block down, and you'll be right there.
Right there. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, we appreciate that so much, Mr. Dymeire Finch, here on the Reentry Connect podcast. I'm your host, Keenan Hudson. Fun at the doctor's appointment, y'all. Y'all just heard him. He just got so many different things going on concerning this new event. Again, like he said, it's going to be some great resources there. Going to be some performers there. Shout out to Philadelphia Freeway again. We really appreciate him. Like you said, if you want to be a volunteer, if you want to be a vendor, feel free to go to the actual Eventbrite. We're actually going to be dropping it in the chat as well when we log off of here. Feel free to leave comments, concerns, anything you may ask. We'll be sure to get back to everybody. So, Mr. Dymeire Finch, if you have any other shout outs you want to give, please feel free to give it at this time.
Woo! Okay, I hope y'all listening. So let me give a shout out to our national sponsors. That would include Bayer Aspirin. That would also include Genentech. That would include Johnson & Johnson. Shout out to Senator Sharif Street. Shout out to Temple University. Shout out to PCOM. Shout out to Gaudenzia. Shout out to DBI HIDS. Shout out to the Philadelphia Phillies. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to our ambassadors. Shout out to Abu Edwards, who's really been, holding it down on the Black men wellness and just Black men engagement front. He even volunteered some time on this last Friday to have a conversation about the importance of voting in elections. So shout out to everybody that's had a hand in this, because it's becoming a big thing, and it's not just because of me, it's because of everybody that put some energy or effort into this Wellness Day. So appreciation to you all.
Yes, indeed. And without further ado, we thank you, Mr. Dymeire Finch, for coming and bringing your time here on the Reentry Connect podcast. But until next time, any other concerns, feel free to reach back out to us for the